Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sound Archives. My name is Christian Maiorino, and I am the host of this channel. It's been several months since I posted my last video, but here I am. I'm back, the man behind the mask. Today's episode is going to be a review of the Alice Cooper show that I went to last Sunday, September 18th, 2022, at the Oakdale Theatre in Wallingford, Connecticut. And actually, you notice I have a couple wristbands on. This wasn't from the Alice Cooper show last week. This is actually from two shows, sort of, that I went to last night in Hamden, Connecticut. The Cellar at Treadwell, which we thought was the band was playing, but they were actually playing at the Space Ballroom next door, which was Verbal Assault, but we went to the wrong show, me and a friend, and then we realized it was wrong. It was actually the other spot next door, but they returned the money, and we went next door. But anyway, that's not the show that I wanted to review today. We're talking Alice Cooper. So, obviously, he's still out on tour right now, and I believe the tour, from what I was looking up before, ends in Dallas, Texas, just right before Halloween. So if you don't want to be spoiled on it as far as the set list that he's playing and whatnot, then you probably ignore the latter part of this video. So I'm going to go through and do a kind of non-spoiler review first of the show and just kind of talk about my experience there. So first off, my seats were pretty far back, actually, almost all the way to the back of the Oakdale Theatre. I mean, it's not a large venue, and there really isn't a bad seat in the house. And even from where I was sitting, they didn't have video monitors or anything, but you could still see everything great. The man himself, Alice, I mean, this guy is well into his 70s now, and he still, puts on a great show. He still sounds good. You wouldn't think that this is a guy in his 70s, the way he moves about the stage and just the way he takes command of the show and everything. Notable addition to the touring band this time around was guitarist Kane Roberts. I mean, from way back where you could see the guy's guns all the way back, all the way in the back row. But anyway, I mean, he was shredding up a storm. So it was great to see him back in the band. Of course, he played on the Constrictor and Razor Fist and Yell albums. But in addition to him, you had Ryan Roxy also on guitar. And if I look at my notes here, we had also on guitar Tommy Henriksen. On drums, you had Glenn Sobel. First bass, yep, that's right, you heard right, first bass, we had Chuck Garrick. And second bass is none other than the legendary Dennis Dunaway, of course, of the original Alice Cooper group. But he, however, didn't come out until the encore of the show. But it was great that Alice brought him back into the fold as well. The band, I mean, they sounded great, or I should say they played great. It looks like they were having a blast on stage. Some of the points it sounded like the guitar volume was really low at a couple of spots, so I wouldn't really fault the band for that. I don't know if it's just the venue where I was sitting. I mean, when they came out to do a couple of the guitar solos, of course you could hear it fine, but just the overall sound, the guitar volume sounded really low. But aside from that, the band played great. Of course, Alice is known for his stage show, and he didn't disappoint this time. I mean, he had this giant Frankenstein thing that came out a couple points during the set. His wife, Cheryl Cooper, she was there. Came out at a couple different points during the show. Did a couple different costume changes. At one point, she was wearing like a wedding dress thing. Another point, she was walking around with the baby carriage, which probably guess what song. That was for And of course, you know, he did the routine with the straight jacket and the guillotine. I mean, wouldn't be an Alice Cooper show if he didn't have the guillotine and he didn't get beheaded. So, yeah, it's always great to see that. So, ooh, excuse me. So now I'm gonna get into the more, I guess you could say, spoiler portion of the video. I'm gonna go through the set list that Alice played, and I guess, you know, with Kane Roberts being on the tour this time, there was a lot of 80s Alice songs and stuff that he hasn't, at least I hadn't heard him play ever, and he probably hasn't played on a set list probably since that time. But anyway, to go through it, so the show opened with Feed My Frankenstein, and of course that Frankenstein monster thing came out during this portion. Great to hear that. Next up was No More Mr. Nice Guy. Then we had Better Nails from the Trash album. And we had Hey Stupid. Then after that there was a guitar solo. Ryan Roxie did a little guitar solo. Then when he was finishing up his solo, Alice came out and was playing the harmonica. I'm like, what are they doing with this? And they played the song Fallen in Love from the Paranormal LP, which is a newer album that came out not the newest one, but second newest one that came out. After that, they did Be My Lover, of course, off the Killer album. Then House of Fire from the Trash album, Under My Wheels. And then a song that I was pretty excited for him to play was Man Behind the Mask. And of course, during that song, we had Jason Voorhees come out. They had some people come out acting as teenagers, and of course, you know, Jason's chasing them around. So that was pretty fun to see. And after Man Behind the Mask, we had Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Yeah, the title track from that LP. And that was one where his wife came out, Cheryl, with the whip and everything, and then Alice took the whip from her and started trying to whip her. But great song. And after that, he goes into I'm 18, then Poison from the Trash album, $1 Billion Babies. And then after that, Kane Roberts did his guitar solo, was shredding up a storm, and then goes right into Roses on White Lace from the Raise Your Fist and Yell album. So I was excited to hear that one as well. I don't know if I'm guessing he probably hasn't played that since that album came out. So it was great to hear Alice digging deep there. After Roses on White Lace, we had My Stars, which is an older song, of course, off the School's Out LP, but it's not one that not a song that I've ever heard, and it's of the times that I've seen Alice. Then after that, you kind of get this little medley of Devil's Food and Black Widow. And of course, then we got a drum solo. After the drum solo, Alice comes out in a straitjacket, and wasn't Balladed White Fry this time. It's usually the song he does when he comes out in the straitjacket. This time he did Steven off the Welcome to My Nightmare album, so I was excited to hear that. And then that went into Dead Babies, where again, as I was alluding to before, his wife came out with a little baby carriage. Then after that, they brought the guillotine out. Alice gets beheaded, and of course they always do I Love the Dead whenever he gets the head cut off there. And after that, we got Escape, which is off the Welcome to My Nightmare album. And after Escape, we got Teenage Frankenstein off the Constrictor album. And Frankenstein thingy came out again, so it was great to another deep cut there, which I don't think Alice has probably played since I've never seen it in a set list. I know I've seen it in there's the concert video that came out from the Constrictor tour, which is a great video if you've never seen it. And he plays a song in that set list. And then of course the encore, School's Out. I mean, you know, probably Alice's biggest hit, so I think almost always he plays that song at the very end. But yeah, overall it was Great show. I had a great time. Um, one one thing that freaked me out a little bit. It wasn't anything to do with the set list, but there was some people sitting in the row behind us, and it looked like the woman had kind of stopped breathing, was kind of slumped over, and you had her friends and family there kind of freaking out, and they had some staff come over. They had to lift her up out of her seat, and they sat her down kind of outside, and me and my friend, we're looking there. It's like, oh my God, what's going on? That is going to die right here at the show. But we did see it looks like she came to, and then she was talking. So whoever that woman is, I hope you're doing well, and the family and friends, whoever was there, look, sorry to hear that your concert experience may have not been good because of that, but hopefully everything's going good for you now if you happen to be watching this video by any small chance. So anyway, yep, that's it. That's my review of the Alice Cooper show that was at the Oakdale Theatre in Wallingford, Connecticut on September 18th, 2022. So moving forward, like I said before, this is the first video that I've recorded in several months. The last one I did was actually back in April, and that was Judas Priest show that was at Foxwoods. That was back in April, like I just said. So I'm hoping to post with more frequency now. Since that time, I've been to a few other shows, like the one I mentioned last night. I saw Pentagram back in June. Last month I went to a local show here at Cherry Street Station, Garbage Barge and Nasty Disaster. That was a fun show. A couple local bands here in Connecticut. So tomorrow night I'm hoping I might get to see Testament and Exodus and Death Angel in Hartford. Judas Priest is coming back around in October. Merciful Fate is coming around. So a lot of shows coming around, so I do hope to do more concert review videos on here. There's a couple album rankings that I've been wanting to get to, so I hope to get to those very soon. And so that's that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you've seen Alice Cooper, if you were at that particular show or any show on this tour, and you want to leave your thoughts, comments, and whatnot, be sure to leave them on the video. And until next time, this is the Sound Archives, sounding off.